Have you ever wondered about the might of the Roman Empire? Who were the men that made it possible? Our journey takes us back to the 4th century BC, to the birth of the Roman legions under the Roman Republic. This was a time when Rome was not yet the colossal empire it would become, but a burgeoning republic, hungry for expansion and glory. The Roman legions were initially a citizen militia, composed of ordinary men who answered the call to arms when their homeland was threatened. Farmers, tradesmen, and merchants would lay down their tools and take up the sword and shield, stepping into the role of soldiers to defend their city. But as Rome's ambitions grew, so too did the demands of its military. The citizen militia model was phased out, replaced by a professional military force. The Roman legions evolved, adopting rigorous training, strict discipline, and a standardized system of weaponry and armor. These changes transformed the Roman legions into a formidable fighting force, one capable of conquering vast territories and expanding the reach of Rome. These legionaries, as they came to be known, were no longer just citizens who fought when needed. They were professional soldiers, dedicating years of their lives to service in the Roman military. Their role was not only to fight but also to build, to administer, to govern newly conquered regions. They were the boots on the ground, the men who brought the will of Rome to the far corners of the known world. Through their efforts, Rome grew from a city-state on the banks of the Tiber to an empire spanning 3 continents. The Roman legions became the backbone of this empire, the force that held it together and allowed it to flourish. And so, the citizen militia of the early republic evolved into the professional Roman legions. These legions, with their discipline, their training, and their loyalty to Rome, shaped the course of history. They were the men who built an empire, who carried the Roman eagle to the ends of the known world. Thus, the Roman legions, the backbone of the empire, were formed. Now that we know about the formation of the Roman legions, who exactly were these legionaries? Well, the Roman legionaries were the backbone of the Roman army, the men who marched across continents, conquered vast territories, and laid the foundations of an empire that spanned 3 continents and lasted for over 5 centuries. But who could become a legionary? What did it take to join this formidable force? First and foremost, you had to be a Roman citizen. This was a non-negotiable requirement. In a time when citizenship was a privilege and not a right, this was a significant distinction. However, it wasn't enough to simply be a citizen. You also had to be in good health. A legionary needed to be physically fit, able to march 20 miles a day in full armor, build fortifications, and of course fight in battles. Age was another factor. The minimum age to join the legions was 17, but most recruits were in their early 20s. Once in, a legionary was expected to serve for a term of 25 years, a considerable portion of one's life in those days. The legionaries' training was rigorous and relentless. They trained with weapons heavier than those they would use in battle, practiced formation drills until they became second nature, and were taught to obey orders without question. Discipline was strict, with severe punishments for those who stepped out of line. But a legionary service was not without its rewards. After their term of service, legionaries were often gifted a plot of land, a significant reward that offered a future beyond their military service. The Roman legionaries were more than just soldiers. They were engineers, builders, and pioneers. They built roads and fortifications, established Roman law and order wherever they went, and spread Roman culture far and wide. In short, they were the muscle and sinew that built and maintained the Roman Empire. These legionaries were more than just soldiers. They were the building blocks of the Roman Empire. The Roman legionaries were not just men. They were well-equipped fighting machines. When we talk about the Roman legionaries, we can't overlook the significance of their armament. It was not just a matter of protection. Their equipment was as crucial in the heat of battle as the men who wielded it. Let's start with their iconic helmet, or the galea. Crafted from iron or bronze, the galea was more than a protective gear. Its design, complete with cheek guards and a neck guard, was a reflection of the Romans' understanding of battlefield dynamics. It was about keeping the legionary safe while not compromising on his field of vision or hearing. The armor, or lorica segmentata, was another feat of Roman engineering. Comprising overlapping iron strips fastened to internal leather straps, this armor provided flexibility and strength in equal measure. It allowed the legionary to move freely while offering maximum protection against enemy blows. Now, on to the weapons. The Roman legionary was typically armed with the gladius, the pilum, and the scutum. The gladius, a short double-edged sword, was their primary weapon. Its design was perfect for the Romans' preferred style of close-quarters combat, allowing for deadly thrusts rather than wide slashing movements. The pilum, a long, heavy javelin, was a weapon of first resort. The legionaries would throw their pila at the enemy lines just before the charge, hoping to disrupt formations and cause chaos. The iron shank of the pilum was designed to bend upon impact, preventing the enemy from hurling it back. The scutum, a large rectangular shield, was the Roman legionaries' best friend. It provided excellent protection and was often used offensively to bash enemies and break their lines during the charge. Each piece of gear was thoughtfully designed, meticulously crafted, and strategically used. The Roman legionaries were more than mere foot soldiers. They were skilled warriors, each playing a part in a grand, deadly ballet of war, and their armament was an integral part of this dance. Armed to the teeth, these legionaries were a force to be reckoned with. A Roman legionary's life was not all about war. They had other duties too. Imagine being a Swiss army knife, but in human form. That was a Roman legionary. They were the backbone of the Roman Empire, not just in battle, but in nearly every aspect of its daily life. Firstly, let's talk about infrastructure. The Romans were masters of engineering, and the legionaries were at the heart of it all. They were the ones who built the vast network of roads that connected the empire, stretching from the sunny coasts of Spain to the misty moors of Britain. These roads were crucial, facilitating trade, communication, and rapid military movement. But they didn't stop at roads. Legionaries were also responsible for constructing forts and fortifications. Often they would arrive in a newly conquered territory and immediately set to work building a fort. This would serve as a base of operations, a stronghold from which they could maintain control over the area. Beyond their engineering feats, legionaries also had a crucial role in maintaining law and order. They were the police force of the Roman Empire. They patrolled the streets, enforced the law, and kept the peace. In a time when the concept of a dedicated police force was virtually non-existent, these soldiers filled the void, ensuring that the empire remained a safe and orderly place. And finally, legionaries were involved in civil affairs. They were the ones who collected taxes and ensured that the empire's vast bureaucracy functioned smoothly. They were the wheels that kept the Roman machine running, the oil that lubricated its gears. Being a Roman legionary was more than just carrying a sword and shield. It was about being a soldier, an engineer, a policeman, a civil servant, all rolled into one. They were the very fabric that held the Roman Empire together, the threads that wove the tapestry of Roman society. These legionaries were indeed the jack-of-all-trades of the Roman Empire. The Roman legionaries left a legacy that echoes through time. These soldiers, these men of steel and discipline, were the backbone of the largest empire the world had seen up until that point. They not only defended the borders of the Roman Empire, but they also played a crucial role in its expansion, carrying the banner of Rome to the furthest corners of the known world. In their wake, they left an indelible mark on the cultures and societies they encountered. The spread of the Latin language, for instance, is a testament to the profound impact of the Roman legions. Today, we see the legacy of the Latin language in the Romance languages, Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, and Romanian, which are spoken by hundreds of millions of people worldwide. But the influence of the Roman legionaries extends beyond language. They were also instrumental in spreading Roman laws, customs, and architectural styles. Many of the roads they built to facilitate their military campaigns are still in use today, a testament to their engineering prowess. Their influence can also be seen in the military systems of later civilizations. The Roman legions were one of the first professional standing armies in history. They introduced revolutionary strategies and tactics, such as the famous testudo formation, which many later armies emulated. In fact, the concept of a professional standing army, which is the backbone of modern military systems, can be traced back to the Roman legions. They set the standard for discipline, training, and organization, principles that continue to guide militaries around the world. But perhaps the most significant legacy of the Roman legionaries is the concept of citizenship. In the Roman Empire, serving in the legions was a path to citizenship for many. This practice not only strengthened the loyalty of the soldiers to the empire, but it also fostered a sense of unity and identity among the diverse peoples under Roman rule. So the Roman legionaries were more than just soldiers. They were the pillars upon which the mighty Roman Empire stood. Their legacy is not only etched in stone and ink, but also in the cultures, languages, and military systems that shape our world today.